Welcome, friends of Japanese and modern art prints. My name is Dieter. I'm your host for this video edition by the Artelino company, a small family company located in Bavaria in southern Germany. And we've sold Japanese and modern art prints since 2001. And in today's video, I want to present a bunch of prints, selected prints for the coming auction. The coming auction is the number 1701, and it will begin on tomorrow, Sunday, October 3rd, 2021. And we selected these prints from the beginning of the 19th century until contemporary. So let's start by age, the oldest one first. Let's start with the so-called Edo Period. Edo Period lasted until 1868, and these prints are from the early 19th century. But what you see here in the background, that's just the starter image. That's contemporary by Daniel Kelly later. Now, okay, let's show the two Edo periods. Well, the first one is by Toyokuni II Utagawa, also called Toyoshige. And, well, it's quite cute. Shows an elderly in a lush kimono. And the second one is by Kunisada Utagawa. Has also the name Toyokuni III. And shows a poet, probably gives a dancing lesson to this young guy. I think it's quite lovely compared to these sometimes a little bit repetitive kabuki actors for which Kunisada is famous. It's kabuki actors like this there. And there's something interesting between among these two artists. They didn't like each other. Toyoshige or Toyokuni II and Kunisada or Toyokuni III. Why? Both were students of Toyokuni I, Toyokuni Utagawa. And Toyokuni I, he was the head of the so-called Utagawa school. Utagawa school, no real school. Must imagine it as a print shop, yeah. That was a commercial enterprise, and apparently it was quite profitable. And Kunisada, he considered himself the better artist, the greatest artist, and he was a little bit cocky. And when his master died, well, he had expected he would become the head of the Utagawa school. However, Toyoshige, yeah, he was smart. He had married his master's daughter, so he was the son-in-law, and he became the head of the Utagawa school. And Kunisada, he was furious, yeah. The conflict was finally solved 10 years later when Toyokuni II, alias Toyoshige, died. But both prints, quite lovely, and Toyoshige's art prints are not, in my view, not really inferior to Kunisada, or not that much. Well, let's now make a jump, my friends, to the Meiji period. It began in 1868, and there is one leading master, Yoshitoshi Tsukioka, also called Yoshitoshi Taiso. I know with these Japanese artist names, my friends, it's a mess. They always change their names. These are artist names. The famous Hokusai, overall, he collected 100 different names. Drives you nuts. And when you collect these, you need a reliable dealer who is kind of an expert. But now, let's take a look at these two prints by Yoshitoshi, which we have in the coming auction. Both are from famous series, and this one is from the series 100 Aspects of the Moon, and it shows an Indian monk, a little bit strange. And this series has one common bond, and that is the moon, which is shown sometimes hard to find. Well, here easy in the background, huge, yeah, the yellow roundel. And the other one is also from a series, that is the series Dai Nippon Meisho Kagami, in Bavarian style, Japanese, and translated usually in English as Mirror of Famous Generals. Generals is a little bit misleading because here Yoshitoshi goes back into the history and he shows emperors, shoguns, warlords. And this is the shogun Ashikaga Yoshimitsu from the 15th century, and no, the 14th century, sorry. And in the background, the famous Golden Pavilion, UNESCO World Heritage Monument today, visited by thousands of tourists. Yeah, and this shogun, well, he was the one who ordered to build this famous Golden Pavilion. Well, so much about the Meiji period. And now let's make a jump to the 20th century. In the first half of the 20th century, there were two competing art movements. One is called Sosaku Hanga and the other one Shin Hanga. Sosaku Hanga looks a little bit like, well, Western-oriented modern art, a little bit like done by children who are a little bit technically challenged, but quite charming. And Shin Hanga is more the tradition of old ukiyo-e making. And the print from the Sosaku Hanga movement, print number 1, that I want to present here, is also by an artist with the name of Yoshitoshi, but it's Yoshitoshi Mori. And well, this guy usually shows portraits of persons, usually naked, a little bit buxom ladies against a white background. And this one is completely different, you see. It shows an image that fills the whole size of the print, unusual for Mori Yoshitoshi. And well, it shows a boat procession, a well-balanced, nice composition, but modern in style. The next one is a booklet from also Sosaku Hanga art movement. The artist is Senpan Maekawa. It's rather small. And inside, I think it has 17 two-page images like these. And one of our helpers who makes the photographs, I think she made a picture of each of these pages, and you can see them in our auction catalog. Pretty cheap, I think 200, 220 reserve. A lot of work for us. Quite a good opportunity to acquire a Sosaku Hanga art object. Now let's make a jump to the next period. Yeah, Shin Hanga. Shin Hanga. And we have two prints from the art movement called Shin Hanga. Well, one is by Kampo Yoshikawa and the other one is by Ito Shinsui. Ito Shinsui, famous for landscapes and beautiful women. And now I have to tell you something, a little bit about auction psychology, bidding psychology. Because both of these prints, and they are excellent, wonderful prints, normally very, very expensive. And we had shown them before, and you did not take them, yeah? So this is reposting, and this is, we often don't understand it. It happens rather often in both directions. Sometimes you count the bid like mad, and Yuri and I, we are scratching our head and think, oh, well, cool, nice for us, yeah. But sometimes we think, hey, wonderful print, not taken. And that has a lot to do with auction psychology. We call it also herd mentality. So please, my friends, friends of art prints, friends of Japanese prints, take a second look at these two prints here. Kampo Yoshikawa and Ito Shinsoi. Yeah, they have a very attractive reserve and they are excellent prints. Okay, next one. Now we go to contemporary. And I showed it at the beginning. Daniel Kelly. One artist I like very, very much. He's the only one among these selected prints today for which, well, artwork, not artist, the price is distinctively above $1,000. But Daniel Kelly is not a cheap artist. He's a worldwide renowned artist, and his prints are in the Met, and they are in the British Museum and a bunch of other very, very renowned museums. Daniel Kelly, well, he's a painter and a printmaker. And when he makes prints, he mostly uses the old Japanese technique of woodblock printmaking, but it doesn't look like it. Daniel Kelly calls it innovative printmaking. And first of all, you see the edges are uneven. And then they are often very large. Also this one, block like that, wow, yeah. And they are not on a thin paper, but something that is stiff, like a stiff cardboard. Daniel Kelly uses paper that he imports from countries like Nepal, even Bhutan, yeah. And well, this is one of these very, very attractive one here with the story inside the bowl. It's genial, yeah. Okay, now to another section, also contemporary artists. I show you the first one. However, the prints that I now show to you, they were consigned to us. We don't buy, yeah? We work like a conventional auction house. Everything that we offer is consigned to us. And these prints that I now show to you, they were consigned to us not by a dealer, not by a collector, but directly by the artist. And we cooperate with these artists over many years. And Yuri and I, we select them personally. And of course, we select only artists that we appreciate and that we like, yeah. And therefore, well, these artists that I show now to you, could call them the artists of our hearts. The first two, they belong a little bit together because they are father and son. Well, this is the father, Yuichiro Carto. Both are from Kyoto, and there are two works, a little bit too small, sorry, has to do with the resolution. And a second one by his son, Hideki Carto. Now let's try to enlarge that one a little bit, come on. Let's go up a little bit, yeah. They look a little bit like photographs. They are not, but the basis is a photograph. They are silk screens, a complicated process. Let's not explain that in detail. First of all, I'm not capable, and second, the video would last too long. Just enjoy these wonderful images. Next artist, oh, he's a very special one. Yuji, yeah, there he is. Yuji Hiratsuka. Yuji Hiratsuka works in etching combined with shin-kollei, no woodblock. Yuji Hiratsuka was born in Osaka, but I think in 1985 he moved permanently to the US and now works at Oregon State University as a professor for printmaking. I like him. I like him. I like him. I like him. Although he's very unusual, and well, he developed his own odd language. It's whimsical, it's satirical, but it may not be so easily accessible. I recently had a discussion with my wife, Yuri, and sounds a little bit arrogant. I told Yuri, I think Yuji's art appeals especially to very intelligent people. Yuri was not of my opinion, but I think there is some truth behind it. Yuji is probably not really the mainstream, and mainstream is not always intelligent, let's put it that way. Okay, forgive me for this remark, and let's skip now to the last artist. Stephen Mcmillan. He's not a Japanese artist, he's an American guy. He lives and works in the state of Washington, not Washington DC, but Washington, north of California. And Steve, he works in etching with aqua tint. And yeah, he joined us recently. He sells very well, is very successful. Our clients like him, and so do I. Especially this design, water pond lilies. And when you look at it, well, it looks like a photograph. It isn't, my friend, it isn't. No. Steve is a hiker. He likes to go into nature, he likes to go into the mountains, and he takes pictures, yeah, with his camera. And when he comes home, these pictures are the basis for his prints, but they're all handmade. He makes a kind of grid, and on our website, and you can also go to his website, Steve Mcmillan Aqua Tints, he describes how he does it. And it takes him 1 month at least to finish such a print. So Steve doesn't make more than 10 or 12 prints per year. Well, let's conclude with Steve Mcmillan. Steve Mcmillan. And yeah, please support especially the artists who work directly with us. They are very close to my heart, believe me. Yeah. And well, take a look at our coming auction catalog. This is not the current one. The coming auction 1701, beginning October 3rd, 2021. Until then, well, thanks for your patience for watching this, and have a good week. Goodbye.